There's no other place like New York City. You'll see some of the weirdest things you ever saw in your life. New York City has built me into the person I am today. There are many different things that you could be involved in when you go to New York City, such as join a game of chess, or watch watch a movie, or go to arcade with your family and friends. You could just literally walk around and just sightsee all day if you want to. And it's crazy because in the 80s and 90s, it was known as a hellhole. And you can also see famous people everywhere you go. If you ever visit New York City, the three places I recommend that you go is Central Park, Times Square, and see the Statue of Liberty. Central Park is 156 years old. It's the first nation's park actually, created by Frederick Law Obsman. It's located in central Manhattan, and annually 40 million people go there to visit. It's the biggest park in New York City. In the 20th century, though, there's a social, economic, and political climate caused decline of the park. Robert Morse received federal funding. He left office because the management wasn't bringing improvements to the park. The park was only 853 acres, and it was supposed to be stretched out more. The park was left in decay, and equipment was broken, and the park was declared unsafe. Elizabeth Barlow oversaw the whole park. She was the Central Park administrator. There, before she was in charge, of some youth workers there. When she was in charge, she brought some youth workers there. Summer youth is basically to bring New York City public school kids and give them a paying job during the summer. Central Park merged with the task force and Central Park community, and which funds the Central Park vibrancy. To date, it has 3 successful campaigns to rebuild the park. $7 million was raised to rebuild the park, and Central Park is known as the best urban park base in New York City. Times Square. Times Square gives New York City the reason why. It gives New York City the motto: the city that never sleeps. Stores never close, and there's always something to do, no matter what time of the day. It's the most diverse place you'll ever visit. But in the 70s and 80s, it was very dangerous and nasty. It was very crime committed. Had very few attraction and very disgusting place to be at. Many businesses such as Toys R Us, New York Times, and Macy's H&M are now everywhere in Times Square. Times Square has a huge amounts of skyscrapers and can be seen everywhere, and even blocks out the sun. About 30 million visitors are recorded to be there per year. Also, a big event that happens there is the ball drop, which is basically the New Year's. When New Year's change is held at 7th Avenue, and there's always some lucky person there being married, and everybody's enjoying themselves. Statue of Liberty. It was a gift from France in 1886. It was known to symbolize freedom, peace, and opportunity for immigrants. It's 305 feet from the ground to the tip of the torch. When the terrorist attacks happened, the statue was closed and reopened 3 years later for more secure. The torch is held in Statue of Liberty's right hand, and the book in the left. And inscripted in the book, it says it's July 4th, 1776. And the broken trains of tranny are depicted at her feet. In conclusion, in conclusion, New York City is full of bright lights and things to do. There are three places that you should go if you visit New York City: Central Park, Times Square, and you should visit and Statue of Liberty. And even on weekdays, weekdays do not exist when it comes to New York City because the amount of things to do anyone there could be lost.